What are we gonna go show them tonight? That we're not a bunch of punks. And we're gonna go out there, we're gonna whoop that ass, we're gonna show them that we're fighters.
LFL Football Night has arrived to Austin, Texas. Hello, fans. Welcome inside the booth of LFL Football Night. Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco. A little bit later, Miss Desi Mitchison on our sidelines. Now, Bobby, here we are, the Western Conference game, Austin versus Los Angeles. This is really a playoff picture type game. Austin with the win keeps their slim playoff hopes alive. Los Angeles with the win is chasing Seattle and Dallas. Seattle will probably be your #1 seed, so really they're in a chase with Dallas for the #2 seed.
You're absolutely right. I am so looking forward to this game tonight because it's all about that #2 position behind Seattle. Both these teams want it. They're hungry. Should be a fun game.
Now let's talk about the depth chart specifically at quarterback for Los Angeles. They're listing Jane Caldwell as their starter, as they have all season. But at times, Jane Caldwell has really struggled in this offense. Off the bench has been Kiera Patterson. Patterson is an absolute spark plug, a Tim Tebow type effect to this offense. That being said, tonight they've gone back to Jane Caldwell as their starter. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm kind of shocked, to tell you honestly, Mitch. I talked to the coaching staff. The LA coaching staff likes the 2-quarterback system. The players, led by Mo Gaxiola, the all-fantasy, all-Hall of Fame linebacker for LA, she said some of the players are surprised that Jane Caldwell's a starting quarterback tonight because Kiera Patterson, every time she played against Dallas, boom, touchdown. Runs the ball for a touchdown. Against Seattle, she plays great. Instant offense, but she's not starting tonight. Jane Caldwell, even though she's starting, I would not be surprised if she doesn't start off fast, she might get a quick hook.
Yeah, I mean, you alluded to one of those players. That's Monique Gaxiola, the Hall of Fame middle linebacker. Here's a young lady that's going into her 7th season in the league, the longest tenured athlete in the LFL. Talk to us about where she is. Is she on the downslide of her career?
Absolutely she is. After 7 years, it takes a toll on your body. She's not shedding blockers like she used to. She can't run after the players like she used to. That being said, as an ex-coach, I would take her as my first-round pick. She is the glue to Los Angeles, keeps this team together. Give her another 3 years, then she's going to retire.
Now, you know what they say, Father Time is undefeated. Maybe that's catching up to Monique Gaxiola. Now for a look at the Austin Acoustic, we go down to the field with Desi Mitchison.
Thanks, Mitchell. It has been a roller coaster year for Austin. After a promising start, the Acoustic came out flat and were blown out by their Texas rivals, Dallas Desire. After that, questions began to rise about the coaching staff. Are they capable of creating a culture of stability and winning deep in the heart of Texas? Some of their leadership will have to come from the players. In order to beat Los Angeles, the Acoustic will need quarterback Tashay Winfrey and center Steph Wickett to be strong voices in the locker room and back it up on the field. Both of these leaders realize a playoff berth is on the line tonight. Back to you.
Thanks, Desi. Definitely a playoff-type atmosphere. It's the Los Angeles Temptation versus the Austin Acoustic. Who takes the next step toward the playoffs? Kickoff is next. Welcome back to Austin, Texas. Site of LFL Football Night. It's the Austin Acoustic and the Los Angeles Temptation.
Austin is fired up tonight. This is the biggest game in this young franchise's history. If they win tonight, they will step up and possibly be the #2 team in the Western Conference.
They still have a very long road ahead of them. And to get the game underway, Michelle Marshall kicking to Naz Johnson. That is a good return by the third-year veteran free agent that came over from Atlanta.
Naz Johnson, she was a strong running back when she played for Atlanta, but somehow with this LA team, she's taken it to another level. She's become one of the elite running backs in the LFL.
A great run back by Naz Johnson, setting up Los Angeles at the 21-yard line. There's a look at the numbers of Jane Caldwell.
8 out of 21, only 85 yards. Not great numbers. Again, a lot of teammates didn't think she deserved to start tonight, but here she is as a starter.
Naz Johnson getting us underway on a 6-yard carry. Kyler Hurt and Selena Fudge on the tackle.
This is the type game you get with Jane Caldwell, quarterback. On the ground, Naz Johnson is going to get a lot of touches tonight. And Jane Caldwell, she's a fine running back herself at the quarterback position. I don't see a lot of passing when Caldwell's in the game.
A 2nd and 4 toss right play to Naz Johnson. And Johnson, like a pinball, gaining 7 yards on the carry. That'll be enough for a Los Angeles first down.
Marissa Goldston came off the edge, had Johnson in the backfield, but that quick first step got her out of there.
Now let's meet the starters for Los Angeles.
Kiara Patterson, wide receiver. Cynthia Schmidt, wide receiver.
Sherry Awaga, tight end.
Quincy Hewitt, tight end. Megan Hansen, center.
Naj Johnson, running back.
Jane Caldwell, the quarterback.
The key tonight is the quarterback position. Who's going to play better, Jane Caldwell or Kiara Patterson?
They're going to keep it on the ground. 3 successive run plays by Los Angeles. That one was a reverse to Cynthia Schmidt, the lanky 5'9" wide receiver, a great target down the field. This time part of the run game.
One of the premier wide receivers in the league, but with Caldwell at quarterback, she's not going to get that many throws to her. So Coach Suianoa said he's going to let her run the ball. The more touches she gets, the more chances LA has to get to the end zone.
You're really riding Jane Caldwell. She's actually a decent quarterback, has a strong arm, but she has struggled a bit. And that's a look at the 4 people in the box. That's a 5-yard penalty on Austin. You can see head coach Jericho Harris contesting the call.
It's not that I don't like Caldwell. It's just they have a really talented quarterback on the bench right now.
A lot of people vying for Kiara Patterson, the backup, over Caldwell. This a direct snap to Naz Johnson. And Johnson just being pushed out short, about the half-yard line. That'll set up 1st and goal for Los Angeles. Against a defense that has really struggled this season, let's meet their starters.
Selena Fudge, free safety. Marisa Goldston, cornerback.
Kyler Hurt, corner.
Ana Garza, strong safety. Christina Villalobos, middle linebacker.
Brenda Lynn, D-end.
Tiffany Zimmerman, defensive end.
The key to that defense is Christina Villalobos. She has to stop Naj Johnson.
And here is Jane Caldwell. You talked about it, Bobby. She's great as a run option quarterback, and she'll be the first to strike in this one.
That's what she's good at. Tim Tebow. She is the Tim Tebow of the LFL. Give her the football. She runs better than any LFL quarterback. Watch the outside blocking. There's nobody off the edge. Great crackback block, and Caldwell walks in the end zone.
Caldwell, one of the bigger quarterbacks in this game, as is Kiara Patterson. Great options for Los Angeles, but you know the old saying, Bobby, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any.
That's my point, but I'll tell you what, Caldwell looked great on this first drive.
Here's the extra point attempt. They're going to keep it on a quarterback sneak. This time, Caldwell not getting in. That was Kyler Hurt on the tackle.
Great gang tackling right there. Villalobos and Kyler Hurt came off the edge. It's tough to bring Caldwell down. She's like a fullback playing quarterback.
We have our first time out of the night. Los Angeles up 6-0.
John Joy, protecting LFL athletes and the game.
Back to LFL football night, and we get our first look at Tashay Winfrey.
Even though Winfrey's only completed 47% of her passes, she's one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the league. Can score from anywhere on the field.
From the shotgun, toss right, Michelle Marshall. And Marshall loses the ball. This could be a devastating turnover early. That is Steph Wickett recovering. So Austin will retain possession.
Great heads-up play by Steph Wickett to control the football, but that's what Austin's going to do tonight. Head coach Jericho Harris said they're going to get the ball to Michelle Marshall and let her do her thing.
A 9-yard carry by Marshall. Marshall, a lot like Naz Johnson, small, shifty, with deceptive speed.
Just a great story. When I spoke to her, she had no plans of playing running back this year, but she's doing so well that they keep playing her there, and she's doing great.
A brutal tackle by Sherry Awaga by the hair of Marshall. That'll be enough for an Austin first down, but take a look at this.
Wow, Sherry Awaga, that's the way to bring somebody down if you can't catch them.
And if you're wondering, that is not a penalty. Your hair is part of your uniform, much like the NFL.
Michelle Marshall having a great year. Great running back, but she's also a great wide receiver. I mentioned she didn't expect to play this much at the running back position, but she's becoming one of the best.
A 1st and 10. They're going to stay on the ground with Marshall. Look at Marshall motor. That is good for 10 yards and another Austin first down. Let's meet the offensive starters.
Leilani Lopez, wide receiver.
Chastity Morales, wide receiver.
Brenda Lynn, tight end.
Emily Thomas, tight end.
Steph Wickett, center.
Michelle Marshall, running back.
Shay Winfrey, your quarterback.
The key tonight for Austin is quarterback Shay Winfrey. LA is going to key on her all night. Let's see if she can come up with big plays.
This time it's Marissa Goldston running into Lily Granston.
Goldston, she's a power back for Austin. We look for her to get the ball a lot, too. When we talked to Jericho Harris, he said, I have 2 backs. We'll get the football tonight, and she will run through people like that.
Goldston is more of the power back for Austin. A great shift from the 5'3", 120-pound Michelle Marshall. Now a 1st and 10, ball at the Los Angeles 14-yard line. This time Shay Winfrey under center on a design keeper. Winfrey, a big quarterback, a lot like Colin Kaepernick, gaining 6 yards.
They keep doing that, tackling me and holding me. You gotta call it, man. If she does it again, I'm gonna point it out. She's holding on my ass. Watch, if she does it again.
Mo Gaxiola, she's frustrated. This whole defense is frustrated all year long. She's not having one of her career years. Now she complains about getting held by the center, Steph Wickett. I didn't see it.
And that's Shay Winfrey just walking into the end zone. We talked about her size, not just her arm strength, but she's got a lot of size on these types of plays.
Really surprising how that Austin front line is blowing out the defensive line of Los Angeles. Here we are over halfway through the first period. We have yet to see either team throw a pass.
And I'm not sure that was so much the Austin offensive line versus Shay Winfrey. We talked about her size, coming in at 160 pounds at the quarterback position.
160 pound, that is huge for an LFL quarterback, and you're right. She doesn't need much blocking with that size.
You could see they were going to go back to the design quarterback sneak.
Number 17, Austin. 5-yard penalty, replay the try.
That's our head referee, Jason Gardner, and that was a false start on Austin.
Really costly right there. They could get up on LA with this 1 point right now. Now they have to come in from the 6-yard line.
I kind of like that swagger. You saw Shay Winfrey, despite the penalty, kind of bobbing her head. That is a good sign for a rookie quarterback in a new system.
She is not intimidated by this talking trash LA team. She's used to it from playing in the University of Texas basketball system. Just a great competitor.
Now the extra point attempt. That is a quick slant, complete to Marissa Goldston. And that is the first pass attempt by either team tonight.
Great call by offensive coordinator Greg Lord. They saw the man-to-man coverage, Marissa Goldston against Suzanne Mapes. There's no way Mapes can keep up with Goldston one-on-one coming across the field, and it showed. Great call there by Lord.
An impressive opening drive by Austin's offense. 6 plays, 35 yards, taking up 326. More importantly, taking a 1-point lead on Los Angeles.
Incredible. They came in as 12-point underdogs. Who would have called? Here it is in the first quarter. End of the first quarter, and the Acoustic are leading the Temptation.
Speaking of the Temptation, their offense has yet to throw the ball. That young lady has factored big, Naz Johnson. Johnson gaining 5 yards on that carry.
LA head coach Tuisua Noah, he told me they're going to throw the ball tonight. But with Jane Caldwell, it's not going to be deep post patterns or streak patterns. It's going to be underneath.
Now from the shotgun, a 2nd and 5. Inside handoff. That is a draw play to Naz Johnson. They are very content to keep the ball on the ground with number 20. And that'll be enough for another Los Angeles first down.
When you're getting blocking like the blocking from Sherry Awaga gave on that play, she drove that defensive end 15 yards down the field and kept going after. That's how you establish a running game.
Los Angeles offense once again on the Austin side of the field. Ball at the 20 of Austin, a 1st and 10. Jane Caldwell from the shotgun. will look to throw it for the first time tonight. That is Kiera Patterson, the backup quarterback. You can see her athleticism now being used in the slot receiver position.
Kiera Patterson was excited to play wide receiver. She knows she would get a lot of looks. The ball would be in her hands, and instead of sitting on the sideline, she gets in the game.
A 2nd and 4 this time. Caldwell under center. That is an inside handoff to Scary Sherry Awaga. And give credit to this Austin defense, outmatched physically, but taking her down. That's Tiffany Zimmerman.
Tiffany Zimmerman, they scouted that play. That's one of the big offensive plays, the tight end handoff underneath, and Zimmerman scouted that play out, no gain.
Scary Sherry Awaga. We talked about her losing some weight this offseason to be a bigger factor with this offense. She will be just that heading down to the playoffs if they get there. 3rd and 1 now. That's Jane Caldwell looking to the left. Now to the right has Cynthia Schmidt. Schmidt, known as Megatron, hauling in that pass.
As you can see by those statistics right there, one of the most dangerous wide receivers in the LFL. But I have to hand it to quarterback Jane Caldwell. She works hard at the quarterback position with her eyes and her feet. She read off the coverage, moved the coverage to the left, then came back one-on-one. Cynthia Schmidt against Goldstein. Post pattern, touchdown. Great play by Caldwell.
You know, outside of Donald Trump, I don't think there's another figure that flip-flops as much as you do. You talked about Caldwell not being a great quarterback. She's proving you wrong on this series.
I think she has the potential to be a great quarterback. She's not there yet. They have a great one on the sideline. Now they might have 2 great quarterbacks, but I like her as a quarterback.
And that is the extra point attempt. No good. Tamika Eidelbert on the tackle. That is a recent pickup, literally signed off the street this week. Already making a contribution. And speaking of signing her, Jericho Harris, the head coach, is mic'd up.
Reese, you got caught. Look. Yeah. Reese, you cannot look in the backfield, Reese. Reese, you are playing corner, not safety. You cannot look in the backfield. You got to play your man when we're man.
Excellent point by Jericho Harris. Man-to-man coverage in the red zone. Marissa Goldston did not keep her eye on Cynthia Schmidt. She looked in the backfield. Schmidt went right by her.
Austin taking over at its own 15-yard line. Toss right, Michelle Marshall. Oh, another big-time tackle on the edge. That is Lily Granston coming in high. And you could see Granston is fired up. This has been a physical start. Let's listen in.
Watch this hit. Bam! There is no safety that comes up harder than Lily Granston. She did that in Seattle. Now she's doing it in Los Angeles. Wow!
Not a lot of people talked about number 7 in the offseason. A great pickup for Los Angeles. You forget that she was an all-fantasy safety with Seattle. A toss right play. Michelle Marshall. Look who comes flying in. None other than Lily Granston.
Granston again. They tried to go on the edge. Great play by the corners, and Granston coming up. She is all over the field tonight. I love the way she plays football, Mitch.
Granston, very reckless. Comes up, lays the lumber. One of the better hitting safeties in the game.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Greg Lord, the offensive coordinator of Austin, do a little play action because she comes up so quick and try to get over top of her.
Austin is loving the toss play. Misdirection, cutting across the field. Marissa Goldston looking impressive. That is a carry for 9 yards and should wind down the first quarter.
Goldston known for her power. She just out-deked Agong Chichindu. It's hard to do. Wow.
That should bring us to the end of first quarter play. It has been a very physical game here. Austin trailing 12-7.
LFL Mobile, giving you access to the gridiron goddesses of the LFL with exclusive photos, videos, live game reporting, and fan promotions. LFL Mobile. Download on your Android or iPhone.
Outside check run. Outside check run. Let's get this goddamn ball back. How the f did they even score on us on that first drive? It's unbelievable.
Mic'd up, head coach Tui Soanoa, also the defensive coordinator for Los Angeles, not happy with his defense.
He can't be happy at all. When I spoke to Tui Soanoa, he told me he's going to take the quarterback out of the game, which he has not done. In fact, he hasn't taken anybody out of the game. They're driving right down LA's throat.
Ball on the LA side of the field. That is a pitch play to Marissa Goldston. nearly decapitated.
Not great form by McElroy, just a clothesline. You have to form tackle. That's how people get hurt, but they're going right at the corners, like I mentioned, because they moved Chichindu to free safety.
A lot of sweet plays with this offense. This time an inside handoff, no fakes to handoff. Now a screen to Goldston. Goldston running out of real estate, and that is Megan Hansen. Great convergence, and now a little back and forth.
Austin knew that LA was going to do that. They're known for cheap shots and talking a lot of trash, and here we go, Mitch.
Marissa Goldston visibly upset. Here's the call.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 20, Austin. 10 yards from the end of the run. Replay second down.
And that's what usually happens. It's always the second person. Marissa Goldston being assessed and unsportsmanlike.
We had this conversation in the game. We had the conversation pre-game. They just jawing.
And you could see Jericho Harris saying they were just talking back and forth. He clearly did not see the blow to the head delivered by Marissa Goldston. A 3rd and 14 from the shotgun. Winfrey looking to pass. Nobody open. Now trying the left side, a dangerous pass. And that one deflected by Delaney Hall.
Not a great decision by Tashay Winfrey. She had all kinds of time. She could have run the ball probably inside the 10-yard line. She chose to go at Delaney Hall with great defensive back, and there was nothing there.
Austin trying to keep pace with LA. You can see Jericho Harris not happy at all by that unsportsmanlike call. This will be a 4th and 14, ball at the 23. Big pressure from Megan Hansen. And all Tashay Winfrey can do is dump it off to Steph Wickett. Janae McElroy on the tackle.
Poor decision by quarterback Tashay Winfrey. You need a lot of yardage. You throw the ball underneath. There's no way you have a shot at getting the first down.
Los Angeles in an interesting position now, up 12-7. Do you open up the offense here a bit, or do you keep it on the ground?
Right now, the way Caldwell's playing quarterback, I would do exactly what they're doing. She's effective when she throws because the running game is doing so well.
That is exactly right. They have set up the pass through the running of Naz Johnson. Now from the shotgun. That is a quick screen pass. Cynthia Schmidt, and look at that speed to get away from the defense. That's good for 14 yards. Cynthia Schmidt making her mark in the first half.
She's become a premier wide receiver in this game. She's dangerous every time she gets the ball, and plus she also has the looks to kill.
Cynthia Schmidt, part of TMZ's hottest 20 athletes in the LFL. More importantly, becoming a possession-type receiver.
She's a possession receiver only when Caldwell's at quarterback. When Kiara Patterson comes in, she's a deep threat. But with Caldwell, underneath passes, get her the ball, and she make big plays like that.
That is a reverse to Patterson. And look at Patterson lower her shoulder and just blew up Selena Fudge.
Wow, and that's a quarterback. That's your backup quarterback. She looked like a fullback in the NFL. Watch Selena Fudge from Miami. She's like, I want to go back to South Beach. Wow.
That is not what you want to see as a corner. And again, a lot of size up front. That is Quincy Hewitt. Hewitt packing in nearly 160 pounds in Los Angeles, using that weight to set up a 1st and goal.
Another huge threat carrying the football for the Temptation. Who would ever call that? Quincy Hewitt with a big run.
Los Angeles now looking to extend its lead. In prime position, 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Cynthia Schmidt in motion from the shotgun. That is a draw play handoff. Naz Johnson easily getting into the end zone.
Great drive blocks up front. Again, Naz Johnson walks in the end zone. Got to hand it to that front of LA.
Hey, you want to talk about a front line. Megan Hansen at center, Sherry Awaga, and Quincy Hewitt. That is a lot of size.
Big size up front, but right now the quarterback position is the story of the game. Right now, Jane Caldwell playing great football. They're up 18-7. Why change at halftime when they're scoring every time they touch the ball?
Los Angeles now with a 2-point attempt. That is a quarterback keeper, Jane Caldwell, into the end zone. And that will extend Los Angeles' lead to 20-7.
Coach Jericho Harris of Austin is so upset with his defense right now. His defense is on skates. LA's going right over him with their running game. They had that one pass, the touchdown to Cynthia Schmidt, a little pass underneath, and that was it.
And give credit to this LA offense answering Austin and keeping a 20-7 edge.
Mitch, if you were the head coach of LA, would you change quarterbacks when Jane Caldwell's playing this well?
No, I think you need to give reps to anybody that's your starter. I think this quarterback by committee will ultimately hurt Los Angeles. And that is Michelle Marshall gaining 6 yards. A great open field hit by Lily Granston. Let's listen in. Man, you want to talk about some physical play.
That's one person you stay away from. If you're Michelle Marshall, you don't run towards a Lily Granston or that's going to happen.
That was a 6-yard carry by Marshall. Ball at the Austin 21. Deshae Winfrey remains in the shotgun. A little shovel pass to Marshall. And Marshall again meeting Lily Granston. And at some point, number 14 has got to be on the lookout for number 7.
Unbelievable. Are they magnetized? How can she run right at her again and almost get her head taken off? Watch this. Lily Granston, it's a great run so far. Then pow, up top again, and then she goes backwards.
You want my flag?
Not sure what Coach Jericho Harris wants a flag on. That was Michelle Marshall on the previous play. Picking up enough for an Austin first down. Another handoff, this time to Marissa Goldston, number 20. And barreling into Los Angeles' secondary. Now exchanging blows with Agam Chichindu.
Chichindu, one of my favorite bilingual players. She's great at English and also profanity.
And we've got a call on that play.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 5, Los Angeles. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Austin.
That is an unsportsmanlike call on Los Angeles. I did not get the number. I believe that was on Suzanne Mapes.
Mapes or Agam Chichindu. She's known to talk trash and get penalties.
I thought that would have been Agam Chichindu, but the call went against Suzanne Mapes. This is a toss left play. Michelle Marshall getting to the outside and then meeting guess who? Lily Granston.
Lily Granston, she's going to be all LFL after tonight's game. Watch this hit. Every time she hits, they go backwards. Unbelievable hits.
I don't think Lily Granston will ever be teaching a tackling camp, but she can hit.
Her techniques, you're right. I don't know if there is any technique. She goes right for the head, and they go flying backwards.
Now a 2nd and goal from the shotgun. They're going to hand it off to Michelle Marshall. And a much-needed score for this Austin offense as Austin claws its way back into this game.
Michelle Marshall learned her lesson. Who does she outrun on that play? Lily Granston couldn't catch her. She ran in the end zone, went not through Lily, because that has not worked tonight, right around her. Watch this. Who comes up? Here comes Granston. Watch out. Boop. Go outside. Touchdown.
You mentioned it. That is the only time the two have not collided. This time playing to Michelle Marshall's favor. Now Austin lining up for the 1-point conversion. Heavy pressure up the middle. Scary Sherry Owaga will not matter. That is Brenda Lynn. And that's good enough for an Austin conversion.
Bring her down! She had her! Sherry had her! All in her arms!
Coach Suya Noah is unhappy right now. That was stopped. That play was 5 yards. In fact, I was ready for a whistle. She takes off. They don't wrap up, and it's points.
A 1st and 10 from the LA 15. Jane Caldwell now taking off with it. A great running lane. And that was a momentum killer just when you thought Austin had something going. That is a 19-yard carry by the Aussie.
I'm not joking. That looked like Tim Tebow. She runs exactly like Tim Tebow does in the open lanes like that. Wow, she's a great runner.
A lot of concern on that Austin side of the ball defensively. Their offense has been able to move the ball, put some points on the board, but their defense has been atrocious.
That's a great point. Right now, they're within 6 points. They somehow have to come up with a stop.
A 1st and 10 ball at the Austin 16-yard line. From the shotgun, we've got a penalty. This may be a delay of game on Los Angeles.
Defense, offense, number 12. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
That is a 5-yard penalty indeed. That'll back up the temptation to about the Austin 21.
Even though she's not a rookie, Jane Caldwell is a rookie quarterback. That's a rookie mistake. She didn't watch the game clock, and they're going backwards.
Caldwell did play a season of quarterback at LFL Australia. This is her first year in the LA system. Now taking off with it. Has a lane, breaking through arm tackles. And Jane Caldwell getting into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight.
What a great run by Caldwell, but a bad play by Steph Wickett. She came down hard instead of keeping containment outside. When she came down hard, Caldwell just went outside. There was nobody there, but it's a great run. She is playing great football tonight. I would not take her out of this football game.
And give credit to number 10 on Los Angeles, Angelina Areola, the wide receiver with the seal block on Selena Fudge. And that freed up Jane Caldwell to get into the end zone. This will be a 2-point attempt. Handoff to Naz Johnson. Look at the speed getting to the outside. That'll be good enough for a 2-point conversion. LA up 28-14.
I love the way Naz Johnson reads her block. She read Sherry Awaga's block inside. She went outside, and with her speed, got in the end zone. Just a great running back.
Did not take Los Angeles long. Only a minute 20 to break off 35 yards and take a commanding 14-point lead. Now let's listen into the sideline.
You're not going inside, you're going outside. Each time we don't go outside, we lose contain. Each time we don't go, it's as simple as that. It's that simple.
We just spoke about it. You can't come inside on defensive end, even cornerback. You got to keep containment, keep the ball inside so other players can make the tackle like the linebackers and safeties.
Michelle Marshall carrying for 4 yards on that first play. She's been consistent tonight, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. Now a 2nd and 6. They're going to keep the ball with Marshall. Look at Marshall cut back to the inside. Again, barely avoiding Lily Granston. Gaining 8 yards. That'll be enough for a first down.
She's a great natural runner. She can tell where the she can feel where the holes are. It's fun to watch her run. She reads the holes, bam, she goes in them.
We may have a penalty here. Head referee Jason Gardner still discussing it with his crew.
Encroachment on the defense, number 11. The penalty is declined. First down, Austin.
That call goes against Los Angeles, clearly declined, and that'll be enough for a first down.
Mo Gaxiola not happy with that call. She has not had a great first half. We hardly mentioned her the entire game.
Mo Gaxiola struggling a bit with 2 reconstructive knee surgeries, and that's Marisa Goldston getting lit into the wall by Lily Granston, and now the two are talking.
Goldston's tried that move one time too many. She reverses her field. She makes one step, comes the other way. Early in the game, Los Angeles was caught up, but now Lily Granston and company knows that move.
Goldston lost 2 yards on that carry, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. It has been a battle.
Like your favorite LFL players and teams and receive breaking news stories. The LFL's official Facebook page, facebook.com/mylfl.
Pursue upfield. Okay, you guys haven't gotten in that quick yet. If you do get up there, something's wrong. Okay, that means they're letting you guys get up there to run something under us, okay?
Coach Tui Soinoa, as we come back to LFL football night, Bobby, it looks like clear instruction for LA because they are over pursuing the ball.
Yes, and also he's telling his safeties don't come up too much because what she can do is throw over top of you.
Another shovel pass to Michelle Marshall. This time Mo Gaxiola on the tackle. And you can see Gaxiola, the savvy veteran, in no hurry to get up as we are under 2 minutes remaining and the clock continues to run.
She knows how to use the clock. You stay on top of the pile. Don't let people get up and run the clock off.
A A 3rd and 5 now for Austin's offense. Clock should not be an issue. Austin having both of its timeouts remaining. From the shotgun to Shea Winfrey. Looking down the field, has a receiver and caught. That is Leilani Lopez, the short, shifty wide receiver. And just like that, Austin is right back in this game.
Wow, Laylo is lightning in a bottle. Cover 2, the weaknesses in the corner before the safety gets over there. Great pass by Winfrey. You thought the game might be over. They're back in the game.
Austin now makes this a 1-score game, lining up for the extra point attempt. In the LFL, you can attempt a 1-point conversion from the 1, and that is what Austin is electing here. That looked to be a designed rollout by the quarterback to Shea Winfrey. Great pursuit by Megan Hansen.
She actually had Laylo open quickly underneath, but chose to keep the ball. If she tucks it in there, it would have been points.
That was a 5-play, 35-yard drive, taking up only a minute 34. And that young lady looking good here in the first half.
You really have to hand it to Shea Winfrey. I didn't expect that. I thought Los Angeles, they had a 2-touchdown lead. They were going to stretch it even more. But no, Winfrey is a competitor. Wow.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 15. Los Angeles with the Statue of Liberty play to Naz Johnson. And not fooled, Tamika Idlebird and Selena Fudge.
I have not seen the Statue of Liberty since Johnny Unitas tried it in 1950. They're trying it tonight. They're pulling all stops tonight, Mitch.
There's probably a reason for that. That did not work well there. A 2nd and 8. Another inside handoff, Naz Johnson. Look at the speed getting to the outside. This is one team that you cannot get to the outside. They're very quick. Very small stature team is Austin's defense, but they are quick to get to the ball.
Absolutely. That's what head coach Jericho Harris was just preaching on the sideline. Don't come down too hard. You have to contain. Again, they let her get outside.
A 3rd and 2 play, toss right, Naz Johnson cutting it left. And give credit to this Austin defense again. Great pursuit angles, mainly by Selena Fudge.
Selena Fudge has the speed. She's a Miami speedster to catch Naz Johnson like she did on that play.
Naz Johnson did pick up enough for a 1st down. I'm not sure why Los Angeles does not take a timeout here as the clock continues to run, looking down the field and has a receiver in the corner. That was intended for Kiera Patterson, broken up by Kyler Hurt.
Super play by Hurt. You can see her stats right there. Great defender. She has 9 solo tackles already this year. Just an outstanding play. Looked like 6 points. A good pass by Caldwell, but a better play by Hurt.
2nd and 10 play. Handoff to Naz Johnson up the middle. And Los Angeles now will be forced to call a timeout. No, they're going to continue to let the clock run. This is a little baffling.
It really is. I don't understand this at all.
2nd and 10, they're hurrying up to the line. You have a pair of timeouts. Jane Caldwell from the shotgun rolling right. Now a flag. Caldwell gets open again, testing that sideline. We will see who the call is against, but Caldwell did manage to gain 5 yards. They're debating this call will go against Austin.
Encroachment. Number 15, Austin. That penalty is declined. 1st down, Los Angeles.
The call does go on Austin. That penalty on Cristina Villalobos. And more importantly, that'll stop the clock for Los Angeles.
Mitch, I'm with you. I got to question offensive coordinator Jeff Loudon. How come he didn't call a timeout like 3 plays ago?
And you can see this crowd in Austin starting to get on their feet, sensing how important this drive is. If LA scores here, they negate Austin's previous. And that's a handoff to Naz Johnson up the middle. A shoelace tackle by Selena Fudge, or that would have been 6 points for LA. We are officially at halftime.
You guys better come up with some better play selections than that. That was yeah, you were way off. You were too far.
Back with halftime festivities.
Fight it inside yourselves. This team is donkey. What are we doing out there? We need to fix it. Communicate. Have heart. These girls up.
A visibly upset Monique Gaxiola as we welcome you back to LFL Football Night. Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Huco. Now, Bobby, we knew Austin was a sound football team, but to have a halftime score of 28-20, only trailing Los Angeles by 8, did we expect them to be this good?
Actually, I knew they're going to be very competitive. I didn't expect the ground game. They went ground and pound right at L.A. They gave the ball to Michelle Marshall. They accumulated 83 yards on the ground against L.A. More surprising, L.A. did the same thing. They had 131 yards on the ground by giving it to Naz Johnson. A running game by both teams, but it's fun football.
Now, there were times in this game where L.A. really looked like they're about to pull away in this, and then Austin fought back. Give them credit. How do they do that?
Leilani Lopez, underrated wide receiver. Shea Winfrey put it right on the money. 18 yards, they got right back in the football game.
Now, that was the final score of the half. There was a ton before that. Let's take a look at some of that first half scoring, mainly on the ground, especially with Los Angeles. Jane Caldwell with a pair of touchdown runs. Impressingly, this one from 21 yards out. Then Naz Johnson adding another one on the ground. And then Caldwell firing up that arm, finding Cynthia Schmidt on an 11-yard touchdown reception on the Austin side of the ball. to Shea Winfrey not to be outdone. Contributed on the ground here. And then Michelle Marshall going toe-to-toe with Naz Johnson with her own touchdown run. Then at the end of the half, you talked about it, Bobby. It was to Shea Winfrey finding Leilani Lopez on an 18-yard touchdown reception. That brings us to our halftime score of 28-20. Now let's take a look at the first half stats.
A real even first half, fun football. Look at the total plays, 23 plays each. The only difference is a rushing game where LA has the edge.
LA has the big edge, and that will bring us to the end of halftime festivities here in Austin, Texas. We return you for the second half. Guess what, folks? Kickoff is next.
Warrior Black, the official eye black of LFL athletes.
Back to third quarter action, LFL Football Night. Let's go down to the field.
I'm with the defensive heartbeat of LA Temptation, Monique Gaxiola. Mo, despite being up in this game, you guys gave up 20 points in the first half. What seems to be the issue defensively?
We're just not staying to our assignments. We're trying to do too much. We're not staying true to our zones, and it's killing us. Austin is executing on the mistakes that we're making on defense, and there should be no reason this score should be 20-28.
Good luck in the third. Back to you guys.
Let's go take it. I can't reiterate it enough. Y'all, this is where we want to be. Here we go. Don't let them... Let's go.
Definitely not a great first half for Mo Gaxiola and the LA defense, giving up 20 points to Austin. We know Mo Gaxiola is a little bit sick tonight, but she's not playing good football, Mitch.
Los Angeles' medical report lists Monique Gaxiola as having a respiratory infection, and obviously that has impacted her breathing ability in the first half, and that should explain for the 20 points Los Angeles gave up. That's Selena Fudge with a big-time return past midfield. Austin will take over in prime field position.
Great return there by Fudge. The quarterback, she's having a good night tonight. Winfrey solid all over the game. Nobody expected them to be this close. They were 12-point underdogs. Right now, they're one score away from tying LA.
A 1st and 10 for this Austin offense, and after a penalty on Los Angeles, the ball's down to the 12-yard line. And there is Winfrey opening it up a bit with Leilani Lopez, connecting with Lopez on a touchdown late in the second quarter, and now rekindling that connection here in the third.
Lopez is simply money tonight. She's got a real high ceiling. I look forward to seeing her in the future here in the LFL.
2nd and 5, ball at the 7-yard line from the shotgun handoff. That's Michelle Marshall. Great open field tackle. That tackle made by Takarangi and Agam Chichindu.
Chichindu, great play right there. Looked like Marshall was going to get in the end zone. She came up from the safety position. Again, another clothesline tackle by LA.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing with Austin. They are staying toe-to-toe with Los Angeles. Responded right out of the gate here in the third quarter. That's a low snap and a bad toss to Marshall. Marshall trying to make the most of it, and finally, Mo Gaxiola Maybe she heard what you said about her there at halftime. And we've got Mo Gaxiola mic'd up.
That man. Second down, let's go.
She is the team leader of LA. Even though she's sick, not having a great game, she won't let this team tear apart.
Tashay Winfrey going back to work here at the 10-yard line. The big bruising fullback Brenda Lynn lines up. They're going to fake the handoff to her. This is a keeper with Tashay Winfrey. And Suzanne Mapes was completely out of position. And Winfrey made her pay.
Looked like a busted play. In fact, Mo Gaxiola made a great play. Inside the 10-yard line, you can line up within 1 yard of the ball. When the ball was snapped, she pushes the center back into the quarterback. Not a great snap handoff to the quarterback, but nobody went after the quarterback. She walked in the end zone. And write that down, Mitch. Inside the 10-yard line, man-to-man coverage, nobody accounts for the quarterback.
That was a little misdirection. Everybody went for Brenda Lynn, the fullback, opening up to Shea Winfrey, and that's Michelle Marshall. They are really starting to key in on Marshall. The extra point attempt will fail, and the score will remain 28-26, Los Angeles.
People are shocked right now that Austin is hanging with LA, only 2 points down. Got to really hand it to Tashay Winfrey. Mitch, they did it. They switched quarterbacks. Kiara Patterson in the game, one of the most exciting young quarterbacks. We'll see what she has right here.
Patterson, the bigger arm versus Jane Caldwell. We'll see if they decide to open up this offense on this series. And they do just that. Down the field, Cynthia Schmidt. And Schmidt, the second score of the night, getting behind the defense. That looked to be Marissa Goldston in coverage.
Every time she touches the football, it's devastating for LFL defenses. Here we go again. The first play when Kiara Patterson gets in a game, a post pattern to Schmidt, bam, points on the board. That's how she plays football. This is exciting as I've seen in the LFL.
This is shaping up to be a pretty good football game. Just when we thought Austin climbs back in, Kiara Patterson, cold off the bench, connects for a 35-yard touchdown pass to Cynthia Schmidt, and now doing the honors herself on the extra point. That will extend Los Angeles' lead to 36-26.
Just like that. Again, it's nothing against Jane Caldwell. She's a fine quarterback, but she doesn't have that explosiveness like that. Wow, one play, bam, touchdown. They did it last game when she came in against Dallas. Here we go again against Austin.
We saw a look at Caldwell's numbers, not very bad at all, 3 of 4, and she did account for a pair of scores on the ground. So a bit shocking that they would go to Kiara Patterson, but it looked like it was the right decision.
I agree. I sometimes I'm not believing myself sometimes, but I said it was not going to be this way. But Coach Tui Sanoa, I think he's right. He's got 2 solid quarterbacks. This is going to be great down the line if they make the playoffs. They'll have 2 quarterbacks that can play. It's working for them.
Now Austin on offense. That first play to Chastity Morales, and this one to Michelle Marshall, tackled by Christina Sagar-Managa. A great open field tackle.
I guarantee head coach Suianoa got with Monique Gaxiola and changed the defensive game plan to focus on Michelle Marshall here in the second half.
Marshall accounting for nearly 60% of the Austin offense in the first half. This time the LA defense really isoing on number 14. A 3rd and 7 play from the shotgun. That's Tashay Winfrey. And trying to lower her shoulder. No luck against Monique Gaxiola. Although Winfrey will pick up 6 yards.
Great solid hit, form tackling by Gaxiola. You can't tackle a big quarterback without form tackling, and she knows how to do it.
Now a crucial 4th and 1 for this Austin offense. Down 10 points, getting to the midpoint of the 3rd quarter. Tashay Winfrey starting to look comfortable in this offense. A 4th and 1 handoff, Marshall. And it looks like Marsha is going to get the first down. That was a gain of 3 yards, and that'll move the sticks.
They have a great bunch up front with Wickett, Lynn, and Thomas to open that hole for Marshall.
A 1st and 10. You could see defensive coordinator Tui Sanoa not happy thus far. Giving up 26 points to a young offense like Austin. That that should be cause for alarm in Los Angeles. This is Tashay Winfrey. Great edge pressure breaking through. That's Tashay Winfrey. Cannot get past Suzanne Mapes. Winfrey did pick up 3 yards and comes up hobbling.
Just absolutely horrible blocking by Steph Wickett. She was one-on-one with Mapes. An open field could have been a big gainer for Winfrey, but she totally missed the block.
That 3-yard carry will now move the ball to the Los Angeles 20-yard line. And this Los Angeles defense is very lucky that their offense is posting a lot of points, because on the opposite end, they're giving up a lot of yardage and points to Austin. This is Marissa Goldston. That was Monique Gaxiola going high. Goldston will carry for 5 yards. Lily Granston on the tackle.
Mo Gaxiola looks like a different player here in the second half. She came out with fire. We saw she trying to get the team fired up at halftime. She's in on almost every tackle so far.
And we've got a timeout on the field. It is Los Angeles coming up big and extending its lead.
Follow your favorite LFL players and teams and receive breaking news stories. Like the LFL's official Twitter page, twitter.com/mylfl.
Oh, we're going over there now. T, this is what great players are great. Hey, if you not injured and you just hurt, soak it up. Let's go.
Back to LFL football night, and that was Jericho Harris of Austin urging his quarterback to stay in this game if she's not hurt. Now a 3rd and 2 for Tashay Winfrey and company. That seemed to be a design handoff, a bit of miscommunication. Winfrey keeping the play alive, now throwing across her body to Marissa Goldston. And for a moment, Goldston looked like she was going to break through the tackles. Lily Granston coming up from the safety position.
Lord Jesus, Jesus. Hey, Jesus, take the wheel, because I'm about to crash.
Coach Jericho Harris is so frustrated with his team right now. They're 10 behind, they're in the game, but they're missing assignments.
And that is something you cannot do.
Reese, what kind of... Wait, it was 7. We discussed it. It was a draw. What the hell? What the hell?
And the Coach Jericho Harris show continues. He is probably one of the more animated head coaches we've ever seen on our sidelines.
He really has his team playing tonight, but you can see his frustration.
It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I'm yelling time.
Coach Jericho Harris desperately trying to get the attention of the referees. He did not. They were assessed a delay of game. And now a 4th and 1 turns into a 4th and 6.
That was huge.
That's a screen play to Marshall just beyond her outstretched arms. And not a great effort by Marshall, and even worse throw by Winfrey.
4th and 1, you hit the nail on the head. That's an easy gainer. Give the ball to Michelle Marshall, straight dive. You'll get the 1 with the defense 3 yards off. The delay of game took them out of it and changed the whole complexion of this game.
And that is the mark of a young offense. Offensive coordinator Greg Lord, his first year. Head coach Jericho Harris, his first year. And obviously Tashay Winfrey. The communication needs to improve vastly in Austin.
This game could be over if LA takes this drive in.
A 10-point game. That looks to be Kiera Patterson remaining in at quarterback and looking to the right side, intended for Sherry Awaga. Nearly intercepted by Selena Fudge.
That's great game planning by head coach Jericho Harris. Selena Fudge having a good game. Man-to-man coverage on Sherry Awaga on that corner route, which LA was very successful with early in the season. Fudge was all over it.
Fudge, one of the better cover corners in the game. That pass intended for Sherry Awaga. They could not connect Kiera Patterson and Awaga. Most of the work has been with Jane Caldwell. Now Caldwell on the sideline, and Patterson looking ugly there in the pocket. A horrible pass, never had control of that snap. And that'll lead to a 3rd and 10.
Right there, you can tell she's raw at the quarterback position. She doesn't know what to do when she's in trouble. She threw the ball up for grabs. Nobody was open. You just throw the ball away. But again, it's the first year she ever played quarterback.
But getting back to that cliche, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. It is tough to have two young, raw, talented quarterbacks and limiting their reps the way Los Angeles is.
I believe just like baseball, if you have a hot pitcher, you keep her in. Right now, the hot quarterback, obviously, is not Patterson.
And that is Christina Villalobos on the tackle. Kiera Patterson trying to use her feet to gain some yards. This is the play of the game thus far if you are an Austin fan.
Bird, why the hell do you keep doing the same thing? The same thing! Bird! Bird!
Are you sure this isn't Chris Rock on the sideline?
4th and 7. Let's not take away from the gravity of this play. Austin has got to get a stop here. Great pressure. That's Steph Wickett and Tiffany Zimmerman cleaning it up. That is exactly the stop this defense needed.
This Austin Acoustic crowd going crazy. That could put them in the game. They needed that. You're right, Mitch. If they didn't stop them here, this game's over. Now they got a shot.
Up to that point, the Austin defense had not stopped Los Angeles throughout the entire game. A big 4th and 7 stop, and now Michelle Marshall. She has been taking open field blows all night. That time by Janae McElroy.
You got one job. Stay outside. One job. One job. Outside contain. You take a step inside, you just up your job.
I'll tell you what, Idleburg after tonight will know how to contain. I'll guarantee you.
And Austin continuing to ride the train of Michelle Marshall. Marshall gaining another 3 yards there. That'll set up a 2nd and 7. More importantly, keep Austin within range here. They're only down 10 points.
I really like offensive coordinator Greg Lord staying with Marshall. She's the only hot thing right now for Austin. Why not keep giving her the football?
We have encroachment, number 16, Los Angeles. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
And that is a big call on number 16 of Los Angeles, Kiana Takaragi. Moving the ball inside the 10-yard line. A 2nd and 2 rolling right. Winfrey throwing across her body. Complete to Marshall. And look at the open field moves of young Michelle Marshall.
Great call, great throw by Winfrey. LA's defense is attacking, they're pursuing. You throw a screen backside to Marshall. Now they have the football inside the 5-yard line.
We are seeing a very physical game. And give credit to Michelle Marshall, only 5'3", but withstanding this contact.
They're taking some shots. That was Agam Chichindu right there with another big hit.
After the play, personal foul, number 6, Los Angeles. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down, Austin.
And another penalty on Los Angeles. Continuing to move this offense closer to the goal line. They're at the 1-yard line.
Personal foul against Chichindu. She's known to take cheap shots once in a while.
And here's the 1st and goal play, finding a receiver. And that's Leilani Lopez breaking free. Lopez becoming a big part of this offense.
Lalo coming across the back of the end zone. Winfrey delivers a strike. Great play by Austin.
You gotta do your job and stay back. That's not your job. That's her job in the end of mine. That's not your job, baby. Y'all do your jobs and they will score.
Monique Gaxiola still urging on this defense and frustrated as there have been a lot of miscommunication assignments. And that is the horn for the 3rd quarter. A quarter that was dominated by Austin, retaining nearly 7 minutes of the 10 minutes as far as time of possession. Austin having a dominating quarter. Back for the final 10 minutes of LFL football night. Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco and Desi Mitchison. A game that's gone back and forth. Austin now trying to draw closer.
Tashay Winfrey is the ultimate competitor. She won't take no, and she will not take a loss to LA.
That is a toss right to Michelle Marshall. Austin was going for a 2-point conversion. That is no good. Our score will remain Los Angeles 36, Austin 32.
Encroachment, number 14, Los Angeles. Half the distance to the goal. Replay the try.
Wow, that is a big call in this game. They're going to give Austin another opportunity at the 2-point conversion.
I don't know if I would just keep the ball in the quarterback's hands. She's the biggest player on the field, the strongest, the toughest to bring down from 1 yard. She could probably get it.
This is some bullshit.
Monique Gaxiola frustrated, battling a cold tonight, and now this Austin offense. From the 1 yard line, this will be a 2-point attempt. After that Los Angeles penalty, handoff to Marshall, and look at Agam Chichindu. She was in the backfield before Marshall, and that'll be no good. Our score will remain 36-32.
Agam Chichindu, all fantasy every year she's played in the LFL, disguised the blitz from the safety position, came up on the line. They didn't audible off. There wasn't enough players to block her. Made a great play. Agam Chichindu.
Tiffany Zimmerman and this defense will have to dig in one more time. About 9.5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. A game that'll decide a lot for the Western Conference playoff picture. Patterson remaining in at quarterback, looking down the field, now under pressure. Very smartly dumps it off to Megan Hansen. Hansen gaining 9 yards and a host of Austin tacklers. That'll set up a 2nd and 1 for this offense.
That's what Patterson gives you, a quarterback, a great, strong athlete in the backfield. She gets hit, she doesn't go down, she makes a positive play, and they get 9 yards to Hansen.
And you could see Selena Fudge a little banged up after that play. Not matching up well against the 5'9", 180-pound Megan Hansen. A 2nd and 1 play. Patterson under center. Dropping back to pass. Now has a lane wide open. Gonna go right down the middle. That is Patterson showing her explosiveness and gaining 17 yards.
Smart play, trip set to the right. All the defensive backs went to the trip set. There was nobody in the safety position to tackle Patterson. A huge gain of 17 yards.
A 1st and goal for Los Angeles. This game is back and forth. It's going to come down to a defense making a stop. Ball at the Austin 9-yard line. This is a design quarterback keeper. And Patterson into the end zone. A 9-yard scramble by number 1.
The exact same play. Trip set to right. They made the same adjustment. It left one person back. Selena Fudge, one-on-one. She's not going to bring down Kiera Patterson.
This Los Angeles offense very resilient, having scored on every drive with the exception of the half and that previous one.
Right now, I have to agree with Coach Sui Anoa's decision to play 2 quarterbacks. They're both playing very well.
As a direct snap to Naz Johnson, Brenda Lynn from the D tackle position, and that'll be no good. And once again, it'll be Tashay Winfrey in this Austin offense trying to regain the lead. That's a toss left, Marissa Goldston. Big open field hit by none other than Lily Granston.
Great hit again by Granston, but great block by Leilani Lopez. Crackback block, not much of one, but just enough to free Goldston for a good gain around the outside.
That was a 6-yard run by Goldston. Now a 2nd and 4 as the clock continues to run. Still a lot of time left for this Austin offense. From the shotgun, Winfrey in the open field, nearly intercepted. That was Suzanne Mapes.
Great play by Mapes. Nobody crossed her face, so she faded inside with Lopez, almost came up with a great interception.
Now a 3rd and 4. Austin has got to move the chains. They are down 10 points with a clock that's running. A perfect opportunity for this young quarterback to get settled into her LFL career. That's a toss left, Marissa Goldston. They are really trying to get Goldston off. She only managed a yard on that carry.
Another solid play by middle linebacker Monique Gaxiola. She had a bad first half, but she's really coming on here in the second.
A 4th and 3 for this offense. If they have any hopes of climbing back into this game, This is crucial. Winfrey back to pass, has a wide open Chastity Morales. And we have not called number 8's number a lot tonight, but she comes up big on a 4th and 3.
Morales is a good-looking receiver. Great play. She didn't bump it too much inside, stayed outside. Winfrey delivered her football. Solid play by Austin.
Austin maintains any hopes they have of the playoffs. As we talked about in the pregame show, this is a win or go home scenario for Austin. A 1st and 10 now. Ball at the LA 23. Handoff and a fumble. Goldston very lucky to be able to get back onto that football. That was a loss of 4 yards.
That's Goldston's mistake right there. You have to give the quarterback a pocket to put the football. She had both hands down. Winfrey couldn't get the ball in and it went on the ground.
Austin retains possession as the clock continues to run. At some point, they're going to have 2 opponents, Los Angeles and the clock. That's a handoff to Michelle Marshall. And Marshall not able to do anything. They saw enough damage committed by number 14 in the first half. This LA defense is keying in on Marshall.
That defensive staff of LA, you're right. I guarantee you they went over Marshall's runs in the first half and how to stop them. And right there, Lily Granston is doing a job tonight. Probably the MVP of the night so far.
Now the Austin offense. Winfrey deep in the pocket, plenty of time. Looking to the end zone, has a receiver. Unfortunately, that's Agam Chichindu. And Chichindu bringing it back to almost midfield. A devastating interception by Tashay Winfrey.
Leilani Lopez was open behind Mapes, but the free safety, Agam Chichindu, suckered her into thinking she was on the other side of the ball, came up with a great play.
And that'll take us to a media timeout. A promising Austin drive ends in disaster.
Like your favorite LFL players and teams and receive breaking news stories. The LFL's official Facebook page, facebook.com/mylfl.
Back to LFL football night. Los Angeles Temptation versus the Austin Acoustic. A game that could decide a lot in the playoff picture in the Western Conference. A 2nd and 10 play, Kiera Patterson. I'm not sure where she was looking. That was Tamika Eidelberg in coverage.
They tried to throw the quick tunnel screen, but Eidelberg saw it, broke it up. A bad read by Patterson. She should have never thrown that football.
Patterson under center, handoff, Sherry Awaga. And Awaga still cranking her feet. Gaining 6 yards on that run, Selena Fudge on the tackle.
We haven't spoken much about Awaga tonight, but she is simply a beast. Just hand her the football. She will get you 5 or 6 yards.
There's Monique Gaxiola, not happy with her performance nor her defense. They've had a tough time giving up 32 points to this Austin offense. Now a 3rd and 4 for Kiera Patterson back in the shotgun, looking down the field, trying to avoid the rush. Now from the backside. That is Christina Villalobos. And Villalobos very active here in the 4th quarter.
That's why you never give up. Villalobos missed her once. You think she's going to give up. She kept coming back, hit her from the backside, and nailed her for a loss.
She is one of those cornerstones of this franchise they plan to build around. Her and Tiffany Zimmerman make a pair of great defensive ends. They will expect them to come up big on this drive to give this team any shot at coming back.
With 3 minutes left, this is the play of the game.
Patterson under center. Fakes the handoff. Off the edge, Tamika Eidelberg. And I'm not sure if that's not a fumble. They're going to rule it an incomplete pass, and that'll be a turnover on downs. Back to Austin.
That looked like a fumble to me. I need to see that again. Kyler Hurt, she could have picked that up and run in for a touchdown, which would have totally turned this game around.
Now a 1st and 10 for the Austin offense. There's Kyler Hurt. When in doubt, you've got to scoop that ball up, young lady, and take it to the end zone. Although the call on the field remains an incomplete pass. And now Austin cannot challenge it because Hurt never advanced the ball.
If she would have run that ball in the end zone, not knowing if it was a fumble or not, they could have challenged it.
Absolutely. That luxury is now gone. A 1st and 10 at the Austin 22. This is Tashay Winfrey. Quick dump off to Chastity Morales. And Morales gaining 5 yards, keeping Austin alive.
I like the way Morales is playing wide receiver. Wide receivers take note. She came back to the football. She didn't wait till the football got to her.
2nd and 5 now. Tashay Winfrey looking over her play selection. Ball at the LA 23-yard line. From the shotgun, Winfrey dropping back. Well covered are all her receivers, now throwing into the flat very dangerously. And that is the 2nd interception that Suzanne Mapes has dropped.
Mapes should have had that football. Absolutely poor pass by Winfrey. Thrown off her back foot. Her feet weren't square. I always say you can tell a good quarterback by her feet. Just a horrible pass by Winfrey right there.
A 3rd and 5 ball remaining at the LA 23.
DJ, look at the clock. Come on.
Coach Jericho Harris not happy with his quarterback.
We want to get a playoff before the 2.
And we've got another timeout. Austin electing to use a timeout here. We'll be back after this.
LFL Mobile, giving you access to the gridiron goddesses of the LFL with exclusive photos, videos, live game reporting, and fan promotions. LFL Mobile. Download on your Android or iPhone.
Back for the final 2 minutes of LFL football night. The Austin Acoustic trying to stay alive in the playoff race. Facing a 3rd and 5 from the LA 23. Winfrey back to pass in the flat. Again throwing to an LA defender, this time Suzanne Mapes, finally coming up with an interception.
Suzanne Mapes, she didn't move. Right now, Winfrey should not look that way. She come off that, threw the ball right at Mapes. I have no idea why, and Mapes came down with it.
Horrible vision by Tashay Winfrey. As you said, you've got to look off your receiver. She eyeballed Mapes instead and gave her finally the interception Mapes was looking for all night.
Right at the clutch time of the game, when Austin needs Winfrey to come up with the biggest plays, she comes up with 2 duds, 2 throws right at Mapes.
She is a young rookie quarterback, has a lot to learn. The good news is she has all the physical mechanics to be a good one in this league. Her decision-making has been her downfall.
She'll learn from mistakes like this, but that is costly for Austin.
Los Angeles will now simply run out the clock. A 2nd and 10 play. That is Jane Caldwell back into the ball game. And Caldwell rushing for about 7 yards on the carry.
Mitch, I hate to admit it, but I was wrong about the 2-headed quarterback tonight. Who knows if it'll work in the future, but tonight it worked perfectly fine.
This is probably what Coach Tui Soanoa had envisioned, playing to both of their strengths, Kiera Patterson and Jane Caldwell. Although I believe in the long run, when you're up against the Seattles of the world, it's going to be tougher.
You cannot throw 2 interceptions like that and expect to beat the 3-time champ LA Temptation.
Both of those Tashay Winfrey interceptions coming late in the 4th quarter. Just when you need your quarterback to come through, she threw for 2 interceptions.
Cost the ball game. Other than that, she played an okay football game, not great. They had a chance to win the ball game.
Now Austin electing to call a timeout.
Disappointing, man.
But didn't we just discuss everybody's assignments on certain play? I don't understand why it goes out the window the minute we step on the field.
Monique Gaxiola still not happy with the effort tonight. Her team up 10 points. We are under the minute mark. That is Jane Caldwell on another design keeper. Caldwell gaining 5 yards on the carry.
That just shows you what kind of competitor Mo Gaxiola is. They have this game in the bag right now, but she knows they gave up 32 points to an expansion team. That won't cut it against Seattle.
Christina Villalobos, one of the highlights for Austin tonight. As I said earlier, part of that bright nucleus of young talent they are going to look to take on in the next few years.
You're right. This team has a bright future, a lot of young talent.
A 1st and 10 now. Ball at the Austin 18-yard line. That is Sherry Awaga, and they are not going to be able to bring her down. Scary Sherry Awaga breaking off 13 yards.
Just when you think LA is going to take a knee, run the clock out, they give it to Scary Sherry Awaga. That's an Austin defensive back nightmare. Took 5 Austin Acoustic to bring her down.
LA now moves on. They've got a huge matchup July 9th versus that young lady's former team, the Atlanta Steam. You've got to factor that is probably for the number 2 seed in the Western Conference.
That's going to be a whale of a football game. I cannot wait to see that.
That is another design keeper by Jane Caldwell, finding the end zone. And that is the 3rd rushing touchdown for number 12.
Jane Caldwell, this is what she's great at. She is like a fullback. We mentioned it, playing quarterback. Tim Tubush, bam, another touchdown for LA.
LA putting on points simply because there is a point differential system in the playoff structure. If they were to tie with the Dallas Desire, for example, the point differential could come into play.
Mo Gaxiola brought that up during our conversation before the game. That's why she's upset with her defense, giving up 32 points tonight.
The extra point attempt, another direct snap to Naz Johnson. Does a great job in handling that snap and getting it into the end zone. That will extend Los Angeles' lead to 49-32.
That point is huge about the point differential. Dallas plays Omaha later in the year, and on paper, they should destroy them. Whether it happens, who knows? You have to play the game. But right now, this is not really going to help LA a lot.
Tashay Winfrey and the Austin offense having one more shot. We are under 20 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter and the Austin Acoustic season. Back to pass is Winfrey. Gonna take off with it. Great tackle. That is Janae McElroy. And next week, we've got another big Western Conference matchup, Dallas versus Seattle.
That would not shock me to see Dallas beat Seattle. I know nobody's going to believe that, but they have more talent than a lot of people know about, and a young, solid quarterback. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
And we're going to be winding this one down. Tashay Winfrey looking for Chastity Morales. And the horn sounds on the Austin season. Los Angeles not happy with the final effort, but they do walk away with the W, keeping their playoff hopes alive. And now a wait and see to see what happens between Dallas and Seattle. That'll wind it down for us here on LFL Football Night. For Bobby Huco, Desi Mitchison, this is Mitch Mortaza, and we will see you next week on LFL Football Night.